and welcome to Conversations with Joy. I'm very happy to have you this week and a very, very special guest, Mr. Terry Brock. Hi, Terry. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, Joy. It's great to be with you today.
Yeah, thank you. So, tell me a little bit, Terry, about what it is that you do currently, and then we'll get into how you got there.
Well, currently I'm recording a video with you. We're using,
Right.
I know, I'm a smart aleck. There's other words too that they use for that, but we'll use that. But I do a lot with technology, and I'm a professional speaker, a blogger. I've been working, actually, Joy, I'm celebrating my 30th year in the speaking business this month. It's about 30
Oh,
years as a
wow.
professional speaker, and I bounce around the planet, 35 countries and counting, wanted by authorities in 6 nations now, but no, not just kidding on that. But bouncing around here and there, and I'm a communicator. I talk about ways that people can utilize and leverage technology using marketing, my MBAs in marketing, and undergrads in radio, television, newspaper, those kind of things. And I get a chance to show people what they can do to improve their businesses and their personal lives. So I'm talking about technology and having lots of fun as we go.
Now, where did that passion develop from?
Well, I think the passion from that developed from wanting to be able to help people in many ways. In undergrad school, I studied radio and TV. We learned about all the things that it will do and how you can get a message out that way. And then I learned there was something called profit and loss, and that was important. They told me, "Oh my goodness, I got to figure that out." So I decided let's go back and get one of those MBA thingies. So I did that, and boy, I found out it was a little bit different than radio and TV. They use a thing called numbers and T accounts and accounting, cash flow statements and internal rate of return and those kind of nasty things. Well, that kind of threw me for a loop for a while, but I got in there, struggled, got through it, and came out okay, and learned it, I guess, well enough that a bunch of CPAs wanted me to help them. So I worked a lot with CPA state societies around the country, 27 of them, teaching CPAs about things and related to technology and computers and marketing, and have built from there into doing a lot of other things. Recently, Skype asked me to do some work with them. They saw what I was doing with video and passing the video around. They said, "Terry, nobody is doing what you're doing around the world. We want to know how you do that." I said, "We can work something out here for the right price." And they said, "Okay, we can do it." So I worked with them for a little bit, and then AT&T said, "Oh, we see you're doing that. We need you to be the editor-in-chief for our blog that we got going here." And we got about 100 geniuses that'll write about security, cloud computing, mobility, social media, and we need you, Terry, to edit all that. So I did that for AT&T as the Skype project finished, and now getting ready to launch a new book on clout called Clout Matters, how you can
Oh,
engage
wow.
customers, build your digital influence, and raise your clout score also, which is a very important consideration today. So those are some of the things that I'm doing right now and just having lots of fun doing it.
So, when you worked for Skype, what did you do exactly?
Well, when I was with Skype, we did a lot of things with social media, where they would have a new announcement about something going out. We would wait until Tuesday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern time. That's when it goes out. So we would have everything ready to go on the blog. I'd put together video. I'd write up text for it. They'd give me some information. I'd do the write up on it. And then we would schedule the Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn links to go out on behalf of Skype all at the same time. So I
Oh, wow.
handled all of that, and so it would be a worldwide organization. We'd say, okay, hold it Eastern time, 12 o'clock, everybody around the world, stand by, find out what time it is in your time zone, and now, and it goes out, and then we get the message out there and tell a lot of people about it. It was a lot of fun. You know, one of the things that was the most fun, Joy, was when I got a chance to work with the technical people at Skype, who were just marvelous, wonderful people. I love the people at Skype. They're geniuses and just really nice too. But the technical people, we were doing, I remember one project we were working on, getting some things, we had a few technical problems, and I was feeling a little bit frustrated on that thing. Oh, I did something wrong here, but wait a minute, I'm dealing with the tech geniuses at Skype, and they said, Terry, this is the same kind of problem we have when we work with Oprah, when we're doing the Oprah show. And I thought,
Oh,
really? And I
wow.
thought, with all the stuff they have, they say, yeah, but you just stay with it and eventually you figure it out. And I thought, well, that's a good thing. So those are some of the things that I did when I was working with Skype.
Yeah. So, talk to me about clout. A lot of people have never even heard of clout. And so, why is that sort of the new trendy thing, the next big thing?
Well, clout, and that's with a K, K-L-O-U-T. And by the way, for those of you editing this, you might want to bring up right up over here somewhere a little clout symbol that you could put in there as a graphic insert there, a JPEG in there. Joy, you have to excuse me. I like to talk with people that do these editings and things like that. They're cool people. But clout is a way for you to measure digital influence. It's very important to know who is more influential. If you are a brand and you want people to talk favorably about your product, you really want those who are more influential to talk about it. Someone like, for instance, if you could get someone like Oprah Winfrey to say good things about your book, hey, that means a whole lot more than Terry Brock saying, hey, it's a nice book, you ought to buy it. We like everyone saying good things, but some are more influential than others. Well, how do you know that? How do you measure it? Clout is a system that's been developed to digitally measure how you're doing. And they look at your activity and how much you are able to influence others. And really, here's the key, create action out there. How many people are clicking on likes on what you produce? How many are following you? And following you is not even really that big a deal. But on Twitter, how many people are retweeting what you've said? How many people are mentioning you? On Twitter, on Facebook, how many people are commenting on what you've said? Those kinds of things. And there's a few key variables. They use about 12 billion, with a B, 12 billion data points every day to determine your clout score. And then what that means, why does that matter? People who are buying authors, people who are buying professional speakers, people who are, many Hollywood directors and producers now are looking at a clout score to determine who is going to be the actor they select for their next motion picture. Because you think about it, it's digital influence. They want people with a higher digital influence to come in, to be in that movie, so that more people who are influenced by that person will come to the box office and buy tickets. So really, clout is a really important factor on thought leaders and what they need to do.
Well, so how did clout make itself an important factor? Why is it not like this website that nobody cares about what your number is?
That's a very good question, because a lot of people have said, well, it doesn't matter. Well, clout was the first out there to start doing the digital measurement, and then it gained a lot of ground and became accepted by people saying, oh, that clout score is important. We've got to look at it. And as more and more people embraced it and they saw, hey, we like what they're doing, it's good. And really the essence, as we talk about in our book, the book is saying that clout is not so much about the score and what your clout score is, but it's a rather a measuring stick of how to live, what you should do online, how to live online, and how to be a good social media citizen. Doing the right things, not doing the less than right things. And as you do that and practice it, you'll be a lot better off. And then you will get what's called perks. Perks are things like, for instance, just a couple weeks ago, Joy, you might have seen this, American Airlines announced that anyone that has a clout score of a certain score or higher would be able to stay in their Admirals Club lounge for a day and it doesn't matter who you're flying. You could fly Southwest Airlines, Delta, United, wouldn't matter who you're flying, you can stay free if your clout score is this or higher. Chevy lent a Volt to key people who were active in environment and they liked cars and were very influential with a certain clout score of so much and above. Cirque du Soleil threw a big party for those that had a score of 40 or higher at South by Southwest. So what's happening is a lot of brands are realizing they want to be around and be buddies with people who are highly influential. They find those people through clout and their clout score, and then they give them lots of little goodies and perks. And we're going to see more and more of that happening in the future.
Now you went to Clout headquarters not that long ago, didn't you?
Yes, we went out there.
And so how did you end up getting to do that?
Well, what we did is we said, because we're writing the book, McGraw-Hill came and asked us to write the book, and so McGraw-Hill had been in communication with them. We had been in communication with the folks at Clout. I feel strongly, personally, hey, if you're going to really understand what's going on, as much as we love communication, as much as we love, like right now, you and I are using Google Hangout, this is good, but you still want to have that physical, hey, how you doing, kind of feeling of being there. So Gina, my co-author, and I hopped on a plane and bounced out there to San Francisco, went to their headquarters, headquarters. Joy, it was a delight walking in, seeing the people, seeing Pepper the dog running around there, and the people, and this really, really kind people, really, really brilliant people. And we talked to their top staff, their chief scientists, we talked to their VP of marketing, talked to their CEO and co-founder, Joe Fernandez, and they were just really helpful to show us what cloud is all about, what their philosophy is, how they're doing it, and why they're doing it. And for me, it's an excitement because it's not just about the score. Again, it's about how to do things right in business online. A lot of us have been wondering about, what to do. It's a new world. They are now helping to measure that and align it in an ongoing way. It's not like we say, okay, this is the way it must be, and you will always do it this way forever and ever. Amen. No, instead they're saying, it works now. Now we adjust, and there's this new thing. Let's work with that. So it's a constant adjustment, and being out there on the ground, we learned a whole lot about what's going on.
So what's the number one thing that people can do to increase their clout score?
It's hard to say number one, but if I had to really pin it down, I would say it's really important that you remember that you should engage with customers, interact with them, don't just broadcast. Too many people think they're going to do well in social media and try to raise their clout score by just sending out a blast and going, here's my stuff, and all that. That's not any good. Instead, what you want to do is you want to engage, listen to people. Listen to what they're saying. Be observant, and then respond, not in a sales pitch, but respond with genuine help. Help people. Like, as an example, Southwest Airlines is doing it right. They have a lot of people that are dedicated to Twitter, social media, etc., and they're very attuned to notices that come through when people say, well, I'm on the ground stranded here in Outer Lubuvia, my flight's been delayed on Southwest. Boy, Southwest is a very bad airline. Or people might use a little more colorful language. Well, Southwest is keyed into that. They jump on there, find out what's going on, respond back to the people and say, hey, we're aware of that. We know what's going on. We're checking on it right now. Oh, the flight is coming in. It'll be there at such and such time, and your flight should be delayed only by this. We noticed, by the way, you had a connection, and here. So what they're doing is they're letting them know, hey, we're human beings. We care about you as a human being, and they're responding using social media in the right way. And Southwest is one example of a company that's doing it. There are many others that are doing that, and those that are not doing that are falling behind in a whole new world where social media is the dominant way of not only doing business, but just connecting with people.
Yeah. Do you see a trend moving forward of social media actually bringing people closer? Because I think probably historically it has been the opposite of that. Like, we live in this online world and we forget how to talk to people.
Yeah, I think you raise a good
Right.
point. For me, that's very important that we connect with people. And I see that it's not either or, it's both and it has to be handled the right way. I think, for instance, you and I are able to connect right now without, even though we're in the same town, locality. Nevertheless, really, you're over in the Maitland area. I'm in the Dr. Phillips area of Orlando. To get from, if you were going to come here, it would take you easily an hour. To put things together, and then traffic on I-4. We have our I-4, it's congested with all the traffic and stuff. And by the time you went through all the steps to get there, getting cleaned up, get dressed, to come over, be there, and then head on back and everything, easily a couple hours there, versus we're connecting now in a meaningful, collaborative way, and we're able to do it without you leaving your offices. I'm right here in my offices. Now, I did have to straighten up a little bit. I did have to comb my hair a lot today. Did I do okay with that, Joy?
Terry, I really hope that you have pants on.
Yeah.
Please tell me you at least did that.
We're going to leave that as a mystery. We won't tell, will we? But the thing is, I think today what we want to do is we want to leverage the technology so that we can be with people more. Like, I'm with people regularly. Just this morning, I was doing a recording with the president of the Global Speakers Federation, who happens to be in Vancouver, Canada. Well, it would be real difficult for me to get on a plane, go there, come back, and then do some more interviews here all in the same day. I mean, that's just not going to happen. And so what we do is we have that, but then we do have times when we meet with people, key times. Like, for instance, with the National Speakers Association, we have our convention coming up in July. So that's where people plan to be. It's like, okay, we're in this club, we're going to be there, and we're all going to physically put our bodies in that place for a few days. It becomes kind of like a brigadoon. If you've ever seen that play, where the little town springs up every 200 years, the people play around, have a good time, and then they go back to living the way they were for another 200 years. It's a great play. You ought to see it. And that's kind of like the way that we live our world today. We get together with key people at times, and when we're there with the people, we're with them. And one thing I love about video, it's like if right now you and I are talking here, and I go, oh, excuse me, I gotta, a more important call is coming in. I gotta go get that right now. It's like, hey, wait a minute. Aren't we supposed to be together here? Hey, Sparky, get with the program. We can put those cell phones on numb or off, and they'll go to voicemail, and the world will keep spinning around just fine. Unless you're a doctor that's on call and you're expecting an emergency, or maybe you've got a loved one that's expecting and due to deliver at any moment. Okay, we can understand that, but in most cases, if you've got a lunch with someone, be there with that person. Keep your eyes on them. Don't keep checking your text message or find out what they're saying over here on this website or that website. For crying out loud, we're human beings. We need to be with people, and I don't blame the technology for that. I don't say, no, the problem is cell phones, or no, the problem is Facebook or Twitter. No, not at all. The problem is human beings that are not exercising appropriate judgment, putting our priorities on people.
Yeah, nobody's teaching manners.
Exactly. Manners. What a concept.
Yeah, imagine that. So when you started 30 years ago as a speaker, what was your vision for your life?
A vision? Gee, I don't know. And it keeps changing all the time. At the time, 30 years ago, literally, let's see, it was to get a good MS-DOS computer that could also run Lotus 123. That was cutting-edge technology, and Flight Simulator. That was the vision. That was what we wanted to do then. And you see, things change and morph so much. For me, the vision, I think, right now for me is being able to help people to achieve their goals and achieve success by leveraging technology and the time-honored principles of living. And that's going to be good now, or whatever gizmo or gadgets come along in the next 50, 60 years or so. So 100 years from now, Joy, when you and I are doing a video interview like this again, from Neptune and Alpha Centauri or wherever we're going to be then, the principles will still be the same. Putting people first. Relationships matter most. I say it's not about the e-commerce and all the electronics. It's about our commerce, relationships. And I think that's what the key is. So what it was 30 years ago is still the same today. Focus on people, leverage technology to help them out.
Yeah. So when you started speaking, what were you speaking on? Way back when, 30 years ago?
30 years ago, I was talking about Lotus 123, and I was doing cash flow statements and talking about discounted rate of return, net present value, those kind of nifty, groovy things that you learn in an MBA program, and telling with excitement, showing that to the CPAs. Matter of fact, several of those CPAs came dangerously close to actually having an emotion. It was amazing. Showing them that cutting-edge technology at that time. It was a lot of fun.
So so it seems like the common theme has always been technology for you. For 30 years, you've been the one to sort of bridge the gap between where we're going and where people are, and dragging them along and making them do Google Hangouts when they don't know anything about it, right?
Yeah, something like that, like I did with you this morning, and you were very good. And by the way, listeners and viewers that are watching this, I want you to know Joy didn't use Google Hangouts ever before this thing, and she was really sharp. She picked up on it quickly. She got it in there, and like anything that's new, you kind of try this, try that, etc. She picked it up real fast. So, as I'll give you an inside secret, just between you and me, don't tell Joy, okay? She is a genius on a lot of things, and she doesn't know how good she is. So, but Joy, to go back to you, you can take your hands off your ears now, Joy. I've been showing people how to use technology, how to leverage that for quite a while, and I look forward to doing that for at least another 187 years.
Oh, very specific number.
Yes.
187 years. Yes. Okay. So what do you think is the thing that technology gives us that is most important, and what do you think it costs us that is the biggest cost of technology?
I think the thing that technology gives us throughout history, technology has made our lives better. I think we're much better off now than we were, say, back in the 1300s or the 1200s. I mean, because then, I just got one word for you: dentistry. Would you rather have a dentist from 1300s without all the technology, or
Yeah.
somebody today that's using the latest in technology? I think we go, oh, yeah, for my mouth, yeah. I want that. But you see,
Yeah.
technology is really there to serve us. And it's a matter of us using our judgment properly and be able to use it right. When we say, what does it cost us? Very little in comparison to what it gives us and the benefits that we get from it when it is done properly. Now, people will blame technology if they're on the phone too long or watching too much TV. The problem is not technology there. The problem is, hey, turn that damn thing off and walk out and enjoy the sunshine. One of the things I
Right.
enjoy most is just sitting out on my balcony here, looking out over a lake, and the beautiful weather we have here in Orlando, the sunshine, the warmth, and just breathing in fresh, clean air, which is really, really nice. And I enjoy that. And I have most every day I enjoy doing meditation. I find that meditation is important, to just be quiet. I turn off the phones, and barring an extreme emergency where human life or property are threatened, that's how I define it, where human life or property are threatened, I'm not going to answer the phone during that time. I don't check email. I'm not checking what's going on in social media. Give myself a block period of time for meditation. And I think everyone should do that, whether they use meditation or reflection or just quiet time or prayer, whatever works for you. Do that. And I think that then if we use it that way, technology becomes a tremendous benefit, enhances our lives, helps us literally to live longer and to live a much more joyous and prosperous life all the way around.
Yeah. So, where are you originally from?
Originally, I was born and raised. Actually, I tell people down south here that I was kind of a sad story. I was born behind enemy lines and held captive as prisoner of war for 18 years in the People's Socialist Republic of Michigan. Until I escaped from there and got down south where I was supposed to be. But those of you from Michigan, I still like it. It's all right. And they're turned around too. But I originally in Michigan, grew up there, and went to undergrad school out in Oklahoma. Got my MBA at Georgia State, and been down here in Orlando for, about 16 years now.
Yeah. Why Georgia State? How did you end up in Atlanta?
Well, we at the time we were in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I thought, gee, I want to go on for a master's. Need to get that. And my wife at the time wanted to go on for her master's in counseling and psychology, and so we looked. And we wanted a major city in the South. Atlanta was on the map as a big major city in the South, so we said, that's it. We looked over there at the schools, and Georgia State had good programs for both, so we applied there, got accepted, and decided we're off. So I went over to Georgia State, where went over there and had a great time. I spent 4,000 of the best years of my life, or at least it seemed like that long. Those 2 years and a quarter in the MBA program were there, and it was, for me, it was what I needed to be able to learn and have that kind of mental, mathematical, analytical discipline that I needed. That was most important for me then.
Yeah. So, what was your last aha moment?
My last aha moment, Google Hangouts working, and that was good this morning. So we're like, yes, it is. I think also as I go through life, it's fun. I get those almost on a regular basis, and I think I like the way Alan Weiss says it. I don't really, I'm continually amazed at how stupid I was 2 weeks ago, and I look and going, I should have done this differently. Oh, I should have done it. And so for me, the aha, I think, more than anything, is realizing live each day fully. Live each day as a self-contained unit to really experience joy, happiness. And one of the things, for instance, that's very important for me every day is my partner and girlfriend and lover, Gina, with me. We like to make sure we have time every night. We have a date. We get together, and even if it's just sitting and enjoying some nice beverages, watching some good videos, or listening to some good music or something, to say, okay, how was your day? What were the good things? Oh, I had this thing happen. It was really good. I hope this turns out, and I was disappointed about this and wish that wouldn't have happened or so. But to kind of touch base on that, those are aha moments on a daily basis. And I think to celebrate each day, to make sure that you're enjoying it and living your life the way you want. My ideal is to, and I think it's a good philosophy that seems to work, is I travel around the world and ask people, what do you think of this? How does this sound? People say, yeah, it sounds reasonable. To basically live your life doing anything you want to do. Anything. I'll emphasize that. Use your imagination, as long as two things are covered. Number one, you take responsibility for your actions, and number two, you do not harm another. That
Yeah.
philosophy, I think, is really good. I came up with it first, but I think John Locke stole it from me in 1643. Yeah, he's like, he stole all my good lines, you know?
Here,
But do what you want and just don't bother anybody else.
you look really good for 500 years old.
Yeah, that's right. We try.
You've been talking about technology since the 1500s.
That's right. Me and Sir Isaac Newton, we did a few of those things working on that. And that apple came down. I said, watch it, what? And then it hit him. And I said, okay, well, that'll give you a couple of good ideas, won't it? And he came up with,
Yeah.
these laws of gravity. I knew he was going to do well with that, but I told you, if he would have just moved over, he would have missed the apple hitting him on the head there.
But so you and Gina work together.
Yes, we do. We not only in a relationship together as life
Yeah.
partners, but also business partners. So we're working together and co-authored our book called Clout Matters. Did I mention we have a book coming out called Clout Matters?
Yes.
And it
One
will
more
be
time.
available.
What's the book's name?
That's right. We can put that in there, self-promotion. But it's Clout Matters and talking about those things. But we're working together on it. We wrote the book together. We went out to Clout headquarters together and have a real good time working with it, coming up with business ideas, and then able to blend it together. Because for us, like many people today, business is not something we do separately. It's like, okay, I go to work here, and then I come home and this is my time. Some people can do that, but I look at that as more of a kind of a 1950s, 1960s style where you go in and punch the clock and then come home. For us, they blend together. And
Yeah.
we like to do business. We enjoy it. And so we'll do business many times a day, but then we'll also take breaks. And we make sure that we get a lot of breaks to relax and enjoy life. I think that's the way to live life.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Terry. Well, thanks for the interview. It's been awesome and getting to know you a little bit better.
Yes, indeed. Well, Joy, I really appreciate it.